A windy spring day in Chicago, and boating enthusiasts are making the most of the conditions on Lake Michigan. The Great Lakes account for about 1/5 of the world's supply of surface fresh water, provide home to an abundance of animal and plant life, and bring in more than $16 billion a year in recreation and tourism revenue. But the region is under threat. A report commissioned by the Chicago-based Environmental Law and Policy Center claims the area is getting warmer faster than the rest of America. The climate change study was led by Don Warbles, a professor of atmospheric science at the University of Illinois.
We've seen on the order of about a 2 degree Fahrenheit increase in this region, and part of the reason that's significant is to compare it to the last ice age. That was about 15 degrees Fahrenheit colder than now. That resulted in several hundred feet of ice above where we're sitting. So that's a very different climate. We're seeing effects now, and we're going to see even larger impacts in the future.
So what does it all mean? One potential impact is an increase in extreme weather patterns, such as flooding across the region, severely impacting infrastructure, public health and agriculture. The report also says changes to the lake's ecosystem will increase the number and severity of algae blooms, which could result in water that is unsafe to drink.
The future could be the lakes, instead of being these cold water systems that we're in the process of restoring, could become warm water ponds that are choked with algae and invasive species. Beaches that are world class during the summer when it's warm out become inaccessible, unusable, because the water that's actually washing up on the shoreline is toxic.
The report also says changes in precipitation would cut crop yields for both soybean and corn by as much as 30%. The aim of the report to spur local authorities into action to address the issue and invest in infrastructure upgrades. The implications of this report on the Great Lakes region are potentially devastating. And although the report paints a bleak picture, some environmental groups remain optimistic so long as the threat is taken seriously.
Mayors across the Great Lakes are paying attention to these issues. They're paying attention to the reality that if they can't provide clean drinking water to their residents, they're not doing their job. If we emphasize that we can actually meet this challenge and that we've got to stay on track with our clean water goals, with our invasive species prevention goals, we can adapt to the realities of climate change while the important work of actually reversing that problem is happening.
This is an area of great importance and beauty, but the message from this report is clear. A great deal of work lies ahead to keep it that way. Dan Williams, CGTN, Chicago.